children of all ages. Welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, NCAA college football week number trace. Alright, straight up picks last week. Week 2, 16-5, 13-8 against the spread, 9-12 on the over-under. Gives me a 60.3% for the week. Not too bad. The goal is 60. Year to date, I am 40-9 on straight up picks. 27-22 against the spread, 24-25 on the over/under, 61.9%. Not too bad. I'm happy with that. All right, so we have 21 games free again this week. So first game we have is Navy Midshipmen 1-1 going up against the 2-0 Memphis Tigers, a battle out of the American Conference. Memphis is favored by 14.5. I got them winning, covering, and under on the 47. Next up, we have an ACC versus Big Ten matchup. The Virginia Cavaliers 0-2 versus the 2-0 Maryland Terrapins. Maryland is favored by 14.5. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 49. So I think both of these games are going to be at least 15 or more. Memphis winning and Maryland winning. Out of the Mountain West, we have the 1-1 Utah State Aggies versus the 2-0 Air Force Falcons. Air Force is favored by 9.5. I got them winning, covering, and under on the 45. Out of the ACC, we have the 2-0 Florida State Seminoles going against the 1-1 Boston College Eagles. Florida State is favored by 25.5. With an over-under of 48.5. Now, Florida State has averaged 55.5 points a game in the first two games. Boston College has scored a total of 55 points. Florida State wins. They cover the 25.5 and then over on the 48.5. The Georgia Southern Eagles, who are 2-0, going against the 1-1 Wisconsin Badgers, a little Sun Belt versus Big Ten. Unfortunately, I think the Big Ten will roll over them. Wisconsin's favored by 19. I'm going on a limb with this one. I got Wisconsin winning. I got Georgia Southern covering the 19. So for the ones who don't know, what that basically means, what I'm saying here is Wisconsin's going to win, but they're going to win by less than 19. So they're going to win by 18. That means Georgia Southern cover the 19, and then under on 63. The 2-0 K-State Wildcats going against the 2-0 Missouri Tigers, a former Big 12 team. So we had a former Big 12 versus the current Big 12. So SEC versus Big 12. K-State is favored by 5 at Mizzou. Interesting. Now K-State's defense has only given up 13 points in 2 games. You know what? I'm giving a 5 to Mizzou. I got Mizzou winning, +5, over on the 49. Conference USA versus the MAC. We have the Liberty Flames 2-0 versus the 0-2 Buffalo Bulls. Liberty favored by 3.5. I got them winning, covering, and under on the 55. The LSU Tigers 1-1 versus the Mississippi State Bulldogs 2-0. Yep, SEC matchup here. LSU -10. I got them winning, covering, and under on the 53.5. Now, when we talk about these Power 5 conferences, we all know a lot of the Big 12 teams, or the Pac-12 teams are leaving to go to the Big 10, the Big 12, and the SEC. Here's what we're going to run into. We're going to have too many good teams in these conferences. So you're going to have matchups like this. A 1-1 LSU. So at 1-1, if they win out, they might make the playoff. Mississippi State Bulldogs are 2-0. If LSU loses here, and it goes 1-2, more than likely there ain't a chance in hell they're making the playoffs. The more big-time football teams we have in the same conference, the more you're going to have that. So there may be a scenario in 24, we're going to go to 12 teams, I think it is, for the playoffs, or at least 8, I don't remember, 8 or 12, that you're going to have a 2, 3, or 4 loss team make it because they're all beating up one another. So I actually did a realignment video that had 8 conferences, 16 teams per, it was 8 conferences, 2 divisions each, all 133 FBS teams. You win your division, you have a conference championship, You have 8 conference champions. That's your playoffs. There's no committee. There's no, well, this team passed the eye test, but this team did the, no. You do it all in the field just like any other major sports. Yes, college football is a major sport. They rake in billions of dollars a year. It is as lucrative as the NFL almost. Louisiana Cardinals. I cannot say that. Louisville Cardinals, 2-0, going up against the Indiana Hoosiers, 1-1. ACC versus Big Ten. Louisville is favored by 10. I got them winning, covering, and under on the 52. Out of the Big Ten, we have the Penn State Nittany Lions 2-0 versus the 1-1 Illinois Fighting Illini. Penn State favored by 14.5. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 48.5. The ACC versus Sun Belt. Wake Forest 2-0. Old Dominion 1-1. Wake Forest favored by 13.5. I got the Demon Deacons winning. Old Dominion covering at 13.5. And under on the 61. We have Central Michigan Chippewas 1-1 versus the 3-0 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And in my realignment, Notre Dame is in a conference because this whole non-conference stuff gets a little wonky sometimes. They're in the same conference as Northwestern, so if I remember correctly. But definitely, it's on the Robert Sports Show, or I'll also put it across the top. It'll be up there too. There's a realignment video I did probably right before the season started, about a month ago. Notre Dame is favored by 34.5. I got the Fighting Irish winning. Central Michigan covering the 34.5 and then over on the 54.5. Big Ten versus ACC. Minnesota Golden Gophers 2-0 versus the North Carolina Tar Heels, who are also 2-0. North Carolina is favored by 7.5. This is another one I went. Minnesota plus 7.5. Under on the 50. Northwestern Wildcats 1-1 going against the 2-0 Duke Blue Devils in the ACC Big Ten. Duke is favored by 18.5. I got the Blue Devils winning, the Wildcats covering, under on the 48.5. Out of the Big 12, we have the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes 1-1 versus the 2-0 Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma's favored by 27.5. Got them winning, covering, and under on the 59.5. Over on the 59.5. So Sooners winning, covering the 27.5, and over on the 59.5. SEC, the 1-1 South Carolina Gamecocks versus the 2-0 Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia's favored by 27.5. I got the Bulldogs winning, Gamecocks covering the 27.5, and then under on the 54. Mountain West versus Pac-12, the 2-1 San Diego State Aztecs versus the 2-0 Oregon State Beavers. Beavers are favored by 24.5. I got the Aztecs covering, over on the 49 with the Beavers winning. Western Kentucky Hilltoppers 2-0 going against the Ohio State Buckeyes, who are 2-0. Conference USA versus Big Ten. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be much of a game. Ohio State is favored by 28. I got them winning, covering. And apparently I didn't write down on the over-under of the 63. I'm going to say Ohio State covers the 28. I'm going to say under on that 63. That's a pretty big number. We'll see. Pac-12 versus Big Ten. If I remember correctly, this will be a Big Ten next year. Washington Huskies 2-0 versus the 2-0 Michigan State Spartans. Washington is favored by 16. Ugh. Huskies win. Spartans cover. Got a lot of that. Over on the 57.5. Mountain West versus Pac-12. Your 2-0 Colorado Buffaloes taking on Colorado State Rams, who are 0-1. The Buffaloes are favored by 23. Now, before we put Deion Sanders in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a head coach, it's 2 college games. His son is the quarterback, who's going to be #1 draft pick next year, the way he's playing right now. Let's just slow roll on Deion going to the NFL and being the next Vince Lombardi. He's got 2 games at Colorado. He'll be 3-0 in this game. Still, let's slow roll this. Prime time is prime time as a college head coach. Colorado's favored by 23. I got them winning, covering, and under on the 59. The 2-0 Fresno State Bulldogs going against the 1-3 Arizona State Sun Devils. I love it. It's week 3 and they're 1-3. Week 0, week 1, week 2, week 3. Figure that one out. Fresno State favored by 3. I got them winning, covering, and under on the 50.5. Oh, I guess that is it for the college football. That's all 21 teams here. I thought I had more. I was just getting in a roll there. So, hopefully we'll do a little better this week than last week. Again, the goal is 60%. We're over that. But that is week number 6 of the college football season. Stay tuned to Robert Sports Show for NFL Week 2. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports show content.